Hello again, this is actually me making the coffee finally. This is what a Sagittarius life is for me. I'm just all over the place and I want to get details about every single thing when I think I'm going to do this one thing. But no, it never is like that. And that's fine by me. As long as whoever's in my life understands that that's what I'm like. So, I'm going to make the coffee now. So I've already put my hot water in my little gooseneck pourer I have it warmed up in my kettle. And make sure that when you're putting this in, I don't really know why, but they say, fold these little scalloped edges and then you pour it in there. And then before you put your coffee in here, you really want to saturate the grounds. Sorry, not the grounds, that's afterwards. Yes, you want to saturate those too, but you want to saturate the filter because there's the paper taste that's really gummy. And so give it a good wash in a way. Here's the ASMR. And let that go all the way down. And then what that'll do too is it will preheat your apparatus that's going to be getting your coffee. And so that'll give you a much nicer coffee taste. But make sure you pour that out. I have forgotten sometimes and I just started putting my coffee in and pouring and that sucked. I mean, I still drank it, but because I don't waste here. And if you waste, well, I mean, that's what you do. But I don't waste here. So, but this I am more than happy to throw out and give to some dishes that need some soaking. So, but before I do that, now I'm going to pour the coffee the coffee. I've already ground it up, or grind it up. And this is about the coarseness you want. Let me see if I can get that there. Is that focused? Let's see, maybe. Okay, so it's kind of like medium to fine salt is what you want your coarseness to be. A little bit on the finer side is better than more coarse when you're doing a pour over, because then the water can really saturate the grinds and brew slowly because the water goes through more slowly. If you have a coarser grind, like little pebbles almost, the water will just go straight through and you'll just have a very bleh kind of coffee. If it's too fine, like you do for espresso, like powder almost, or really fine salt, it's gonna be so bitter and dark. So now I'm gonna go pour this out. And I usually, I don't know, I think I have like a tablespoon, sometimes 2 tablespoons of coffee in here after it's ground up, or when I am measuring it out of here. I always save these little condiment things and I reuse them for everything because they can't be recycled nowadays. So it just would turn into waste, but I'll fill it all up to the top. It doesn't matter if it's level or not, and then I'll put it into my bullet, or sometimes I'll put 2. And there's that, and now it's time to pour over. And remember what I said in my last video, if you watched it, is it's time to be very gentle with your little guys here, your coffee, because they're just waking up. And if you treat your food well, it treats your body well. It's love all around. So just pour a little bit, like, just, I don't know, enough to saturate the grounds, like I was trying to say earlier. And then I have my little stir stick, which is an old chopstick. And I give it a little stir. And you'll see little bubbles every now and then. I think that I popped all my bubbles. But you just talk to your little coffee like, oh, good morning or good afternoon. Look at you, it's so beautiful. And then after about 30 seconds, then you can start pouring until it's the very top. Again, slowly. I learned another tip on Stumptown. Always pour for the dark areas. I need to look into why, but they're the coffee experts, so I just do it. And I don't mind following that direction. And then you pour it to the top, and you kind of do that for about a minute. I'm not following any time here. I'm just kind of following my heart. Pour until you think you have about a full cup of coffee. That's it. And you let that go down. So I'll just let you watch and listen to the sound of coffee. You don't let it pour or drain all the way to the bottom, because then you'll be over brewing. It'll be about perfect once you are doing this whole process for about 2 minutes. So I'm going to say that looks like about 2 minutes, because inside here, that looks like a full cup of coffee. And I don't know why, but I always feel satisfied when I see those little bubbles inside. It reminds me of when you go to a cafe and they give you a cup of coffee in one of their for here cups, or even a to-go cup. But ideally, if you can be at the cafe, how nice. You have a little for here cup, and you see those little bubbles on top, and they're kind of brownish golden caramel color. So I'm letting the rest drain in my other mug that I'm actually going to drink from, because I didn't have another thing nearby to put this coffee in. But now I'm going to go put that in the sink to drain the rest out, and then dump out that other one, and at least it warmed up my other mug. And now I'm going to pour, let me see here. It's my little Yorkie mug that I got for on my honeymoon, to my ex-husband. And I had a little Yorkie at the time. Her name was Menina. And oh, I just loved her so much. And this looked just like her. She never wore she didn't have long flowing hair like this. She did have long hair, but it was always scraggly and crazy like mine, because we were wild and not super groomed. Sometimes I'm very groomed, you'll see in the future. But sometimes I just like being a wild woman or a warrior woman. Wait. Warrior woman, it's backwards. Whatever. So I have my little Menina inspiration in the morning. She passed away, oh gosh, right after I separated from my husband, and before my son was about to turn 2, right after my dad died. It's just been a crazy time this past few years. But I'm going to pour just about that much, not all the way to the top, because I always like to taste it when it's black and in its pure way, and see if I feel in the mood to add all my other things. Let's see. Oh, that's so good. I think I love how it tastes. This morning I'm in the mood for a little bit of the little extra boost creamer thing, because I'm feeling sick, and it's a nice little yummy taste. I've just been so depleted this week, so I don't even use a measuring spoon, but they say teaspoon. I don't think that's a teaspoon. That one's more like a tablespoon. That's how much I put. And when it goes in kind of clumpy looking, but you just give it a little stir, and if there are any clumps, just kind of, I don't know, press them against the side, or just drink a clump that comes out. It'll be kind of like what my mom likes doing. She's Peruvian, and in Peru, and I think Argentina, they do this coffee drink called cortadito, and you pour really heavy cream, like heavy whipping cream, not whipped cream that's nice, like it's like whipping cream for baking. You pour that in there, or I think what they also do in Argentina is they just literally put chunks of butter in there, and there's these chunks and globs of fat and cream in there, and it's called cortadito, because cortado is cut up, corta in Spanish. Oh, That's not what I want here. But it doesn't taste like that if you eat those chunks of this. And then some cream. I don't warm up the cream, the vegan cream, or my vegan milk because I only put so little. But if I'm wanting to have more milky type of coffee, then I will heat it up, and I'll also foam it up. And here, wait, there's a really nice little device that I use that works very well. You sit with Menina, and I'll bring this over. This is from IKEA, also not sponsored. And, it's a whipping device, and you just turn on the little thing, and it spins around. Mine kind of is a little crazy, and it's supposed to be straight while it does it, but my son's always playing with this, and he's like, yeah, and he's knocked it a few times, and so it doesn't work straight anymore, but it still works really well. And you just put it in, I just heat up my milk in a pot, my vegan milk in a pot, not vegan, vegan milk, and I put that in once it gets hot, and it makes a really nice foam, and my son loves having his little foamy coffee in the morning as well, or not in the morning, in the afternoon when we wake up from nap. We have our cafecito time, and I'll do another video on our cafecito days, or every day we have cafecito after nap. But cheers, and I hope this video was helpful to you, or entertaining, or something. And if you liked it, then come back, and that'd be nice. Okay, bye now.